Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 2nd Marine Division Headquarters Battalion Ceremony celebrating the 241st birthday of our Corps. Please rise for the invocation given by Lieutenant Commander Shear, Chaplain, United States Navy.
Let us pray. We invite you to be among us as we celebrate the birth of our beloved Corps. For 241 years, men and women have taken up the challenge to earn the right to be called Devil Dog, Leatherneck, and Marine. Names that mean you've reached down deep and demonstrated the intestinal fortitude that it takes to be able to wear the eagle, globe, and anchor. We carry on the legacy from those who have gone before us, fighting from the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, from the Battle of Bella Woods to the Chosin Reservoir, and from Fallujah to Marja. In all these times, you have been with us. Lord, we know that we need you and that victory comes from the Lord. Be our strength and shield and our strong tower. We thank you for your overarching hand of protection while in garrison, training, and for those who are in harm's way. Help us to stay focused during our training, honing our skill and will, knowing that we are the first to fight. Grant wisdom and strength to Lieutenant Colonel Bowen and Sergeant Major Easton as they lead, guide, and direct the Division Headquarters Battalion. Continue to watch over our families and loved ones. And may we always wear our uniforms with pride and live out core values of honor, courage, and commitment. I now ask that you would bless our Division Headquarters Battalion, bless our beloved Corps, and God bless America. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, as you entered our ceremony area tonight, you may have noticed one table set in honor. This table is set for one, yet there are many who sit in this chair. The military way of life is filled with much symbolism, and this table provides a way to tell us that Marines and sailors of our profession, whom we call brothers, are not able to be with us this evening. The first draping is in black, symbolizing the color of mourning, the ultimate sacrifice in honor of our fallen comrades. The single lighted candle reminds us of the flame of eternal life, that the memory of our fallen comrades be with us always. The Purple Heart medal, displayed to reflect the shedding of blood and the ebb of life in battles. The identification tags, blank, yet they can bear the name of any of us here tonight. The dinner setting, inverted. They break bread with us in spirit only. The second draping is in white, symbolizing the purity to respond to the call to arms in honor of our prisoners of war and missing in action. The single red rose, symbolic of the families and loved ones of our comrades who kept the faith. The yellow ribbon, tied to the base and reminiscent of the ribbon worn to demand a proper accounting of our missing. A slice of lemon is on the bread plate to remind us of their bitter fate. There is salt on the plate, symbolic of the family's tears as they wait. The glass is inverted. They cannot toast with us tonight. The chair is empty. They are not here. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for a moment of silence for our fallen comrades. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the entrance of our guest of honor, Sergeant Major Retired Scott L. Easton, escorted by Lieutenant Colonel Holden, Commanding Officer, Headquarters Battalion, 2nd Marine Division, and remain standing for the March On of the Colors, followed by the National Anthem and the presentation of the traditional birthday cake. Please be seated. On November 1st, 1921, John A. Lejeune, 13th Commandant of the Marine Corps, directed that a reminder of the honorable service of the Corps be published by every command to all Marines throughout the globe on the birthday of the Corps. Since that day, Marines have continued to distinguish themselves on many battlefields and foreign shores, in war and peace. On this birthday of our Corps, therefore, in compliance with the will of the 13th Commandant, Article 38, United States Marine Corps Manual Edition of 1921, is republished as follows.
On November 10, 1775, a Corps of Marines was created by a resolution of Continental Congress. Since that date, many thousand men have borne the name Marine. In memory of them, it is fitting that we who are Marines should commemorate the birthday of our Corps by calling to mind the glories of its long and illustrious history. The record of our Corps is one which will bear comparison with that of the most famous military organization in the world's history. During 90 of the first 146 years of its existence, the Marine Corps has been in action against the nation's foes. From the Battle of Trenton to the Argonne, Marines have won foremost honors in war and in the long eras of tranquility at home. Generation after generation of Marines have grown gray in war in both hemispheres and in every corner of the 7 seas, that our country and its citizens might enjoy peace and security. In every battle and skirmish since the birth of our Corps, Marines have acquitted themselves with great distinction, winning new honors on each occasion until the term Marine has come to signify all that is highest in military efficiency and soldierly virtue. The name of distinction and soldierly repute to our Marines today have received from those who have preceded us in the Corps. With it, we have also received from them the eternal spirit which has animated our Corps from generation to generation and has been the distinguishing mark of the Marines in every age. So long as that spirit continues to flourish, Marines will be found equal to every emergency in the future as they have been in the past, and the men of our nation will regard us as worthy successors to the long line of illustrious men who have served as soldiers of the sea since the founding of the Corps. J. A. Lejeune, Major General, United States Marine Corps, 13th Commandant of the Marine Corps.
The inspiring message of our 13th Commandant has left its mark in the hearts and minds of all Marines. Ladies and gentlemen, a message from the Commandant of the Marine Corps.
Ask me what I was. I'll reply with what I've done. Those things others would not do, I did. Those rivers others would not swim, I swam. Those hills others would not climb, I conquered.
Those bridges others would not cross, I crossed.
I've celebrated, I've mourned, I have smiled,
and I've frowned.
I have seen death and felt its warm breath. It did not faze me, for I was different. I was a warrior. You ask me what I was. It was my destiny, until my last breath, to be a United States Marine. My spirit shall live forever. Semper Fidelis.
For I was,
Am, and shall forever be a United States Marine.
The cohesion of a unit involves the physical, spiritual, cognitive connection of Marines in that unit, because we are a team. And we remember the team, we remember the people we serve, we remember the hard times, I remember the good times. And so when you leave the Corps, as we're all going to do eventually one day, I think that's the thing people miss. They miss that feeling of being part of something bigger than themselves.
You will sweat for each other, you'll bleed for each other if you need to. That's what true family is. You go through hard times together, you're there on the other end. So I have people I consider family that are blood relatives. I have people I consider family that are friends. And I have a lot of people I consider family that are just Marines with me.
When our way of life is threatened from the outside, we all come together as one from this diverse community that we have as Americans.
This is about individuals coming together to find something bigger than self, to be a part of a team greater than self, preparing to go to combat, protect each other.
On the battlefield, we don't leave any Marine behind. We stick together, come hell or high water. We know if one Marine's in trouble, that every Marine in earshot will be on his way there as fast as he can. Because the greatest honor, the greatest privilege of being a Marine is to fight alongside another Marine. The last thing you want to do when you leave the Marine Corps, when you're off on independent duty, you don't want to lose that connection.
When you're in a stressful environment, combat environment, where people are getting hurt, you know that you could be hurt at any point in time. That becomes your safety net. Those guys become your safety net. And you're with them every day, day in and day out. And you get really close because that's who you lean on when things are really stressful.
Some people will look at us like we're crazy, like, why are y'all laughing about being in the field for 3 weeks and raining down and no food that was worth eating? It's something that, as Marines, we understand that all the struggles that we go through strengthen us. It makes us tighter. When you're reduced to making the most of nothing, you build tight with your group and you get the job done.
They're going to be your friends for life. And they're the people that are going to help you the rest of your life. And Marines are like that. Marines are going to, once you're a Marine, you're going to always help other Marines. You're going to help anybody, but you're really going to look out for each other, and that's why we got to stay connected.
Always faithful, and we're still, look at us.
That's right.
Look at us.
That's right.
Look at us, look, you know.
Always.
Always.
When we say once a Marine, always a Marine, the family's included in that conversation. For all those warriors who've fallen, their families remain our families forever.
Generational interaction is so important. And whenever you have the opportunity to reach across the different generations of those who have worn our cloth, I think it's absolutely something you should do because it shows you how much the world has changed, how much war has changed, but really how Marines are still pretty much the same.
So happy birthday, Marines. Wherever you find yourself tonight, forward deployed in harm's way, on unit rotation overseas, at bases and stations around our Corps with family and friends, with our veterans and retired Marines. Enjoy each other's company, and remember, we need you to be safe so that tomorrow we can be ready for whatever the world brings our way.
And remember, protect what you've earned.
Semper Fidelis.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is customary at the Marine Corps birthday celebration worldwide for Marines to cut a traditional cake in celebration of the birth of our illustrious Corps. traditions to the next generation. The youngest Marine present is Lance Cpl. He was born in Florence, South Carolina on August 3rd, 1998. He joined the Marine Corps on January 11th, 2016 and is currently serving as the Marine Corps Embarkation Specialist. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the retiring of the colors and remain standing for the exit of the official party, the playing of Follow Me, Anchors Away, and the Marines Hymn. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, in order to honor our Marines and sailors, both past and present, that have served in the 2nd Marine Division, we ask all active duty and veteran members of the division to remain standing and to be recognized during the playing of the 2nd Marine Division song, Follow Me. We ask all others to be seated at this time.
Thank you.
On this 241st birthday of the United States Marine Corps, we join together to commemorate 241 years in which the Marine Corps has given meaning to our motto, Semper Fidelis. Ladies and gentlemen, the commanding officer of Headquarters Battalion, 2nd Marine Division, Lieutenant Colonel Golden.
Happy birthday, Marines! All right, the formal part is over. All the somberness and the tradition, which has its place in our heritage, is over. This is a birthday party. And I am honored to share this birthday party with such a huge family. Many of the Marines have heard me talk about the three types of families that we have. The family you're born into, your mother and father. The family you're sworn into, which are the sailors and the Marines are dressed in uniform right now. And then the family that you select for your own, which are your spouses. I'm happy to see elements of all three of those families present in this room today. Thank you very much. I have the honor and privilege of introducing a guest of honor today who's a retired Sergeant Major I served with at MCIEAST, who is a member of that family, all right? During his retirement ceremony about 2 years ago, he referred to brother from another mother when he referenced me. That's what I mean by family. It doesn't matter when you served. It doesn't matter how long ago or how recent. As long as you are a Marine or a sailor assigned to the Marines, you are a member of this family. Now, I don't know what this term is that everybody started throwing around about 10 years ago called Senior Enlisted Advisor. I'll be honest with you, that one kind of rubs me the wrong way. What is a Senior Enlisted Advisor? I mean, to a second lieutenant in a rifle platoon, it's his staff sergeant, platoon sergeant. If he's lucky enough to have a staff sergeant, it could very well be a sergeant. To a company commander, it's his first sergeant. To a battalion commander, it's sergeant major. But to an OIC, it could be a gunny, a master sergeant, or a master gunnery sergeant. In the annals of the Marine Corps, General Lejeune, excuse me, we changed that about 10 years ago too, referred to the officer-enlisted relationship as kind of as parent to child, or as coach to team member. I think the senior enlisted advisor's relationship to an officer is more like that of an older brother to a younger brother. And by that I mean the older brother is the senior enlisted advisor. In almost every relationship, the officer senior enlisted advisor has been in longer than him or her, has done more in uniform than he or her. And I view that as kind of an older brother relationship. Now, when I talked about the family you're born into, your brother didn't get to choose you. The staff NCO didn't get to choose his lieutenant either. They don't always get along. But the staff NCO and the officer understand that we're all part of the same family. And even if those two individuals, like brothers who are rivals tend to be, don't get along with one another, your older brother is not going to let you fail. God knows I gave Sergeant Major Dixon a few reasons to let me fail. I came back from Afghanistan after a year thinking I knew everything. I'd been the Deputy G3 at Task Force Leatherneck, and now I'm the XO at the School of Infantry East. I've been an infantryman at that time for about 25 years, so I kind of knew the infantry thing. I've been an XO going on 4 times. I kind of knew the XO thing. So what did I need a big brother for? Well, a guy who comes back from a year in Afghanistan, he's got a different attitude than a guy who's teaching entry-level Marines, or a guy who's overseeing the teaching of entry-level Marines. My big brother would occasionally come into my office with a handful of pretzels. Incidentally, I'm addicted to pretzels now. Or around Easter, he'd come in with jelly beans. He knew I liked the licorice ones, so he'd always have a bowl of black jelly beans available. And he'd give me a 5-minute talk on, motorcycle riding and handlebar therapy, and then right about as he's about to walk out the door, he'd tell me, Not every nail needs a 12-pound sledgehammer to hit it. And I'd have to step back for a second and go, okay, I know what that means. If I were telling a lieutenant that, how does that mean if a sergeant major is telling a lieutenant colonel that? Well, it probably means that I've unleashed fury on one lieutenant who showed up in the wrong uniform for duty, or 5 minutes late, and occasionally you need to step back, address issues with a little bit more compassion, and as an officer, you do need to hear that you're doing things wrong, all right? You need to hear it from somebody like your big brother. And it's my pleasure at this stage of the game to introduce, as he refers to, brother from another mother, and I may be a little bit taller than him, but my big brother, Scott Dixon, Sergeant Major, United States Marine Corps, retired.
I'm not as smart as Colonel Golden, so I have to have notes. Oh, here we go. Well, hey, good evening, Marines. Happy birthday. You know, I do have to say this before I start my comments. I mean, hey guys, give your ladies a round of applause because you ladies are gorgeous and you are lighting up this room. So I want to first thank Lieutenant Colonel Golden and Sergeant Major East, and along with the Headquarters Battalion Ball Committee, for inviting me and my wife Cassie to your special evening. It means a great deal to us, and I couldn't be more honored to be speaking with you this evening. I'll try to implement the 3 Bs. I'll try to be bold, I'll try to be brief, and I'll try to be gone. And I feel that's important because I know these bars only stay open till 11 o'clock. And this is your evening, and I don't want to waste any of your time. So I thought about the message I wanted to send to you this evening for quite some time. I thought about talking about the state of the Corps. Hell, you know what's going on in the Marine Corps more than I do, so that would be a waste of your time. I thought about talking about how great you are, what kind of a great job you do. But you know that as well as me. But I will say this, having served in Headquarters Battalion with the division, I think that was about 3 years. I know the fantastic job that you all do as Marines of Headquarters Battalion 2nd Marine Division. I mean, you got Motor T, you got the comm company, you got the band, you got all the G shops, all the Marines working down there, you got the headquarters company. I think when I served there, we had the MPs as well, the POPO. So I know what you do, and I know you make the division run. And I know it's 1600 on a Friday when the world's crashing in on the division. You're the ones that make things happen. So I want you to know that you're very much appreciated and you're important. But I decided to talk about something different. I chose to talk about something that makes sense and may stay with you after I'm done. What I chose to talk about this evening is why the Marine Corps means more to you than you probably realize right now. So I spent a few days in the Marine Corps, and if I'm being totally honest with you, I'd have to say it took me about 5 or 6 years to really have that love of Corps that you always hear people talk about. See, my early years in the Marine Corps, I took a lot, if not all of it, for granted. I was always fighting against the institution or fighting against the man. I was more worried about what was going on back home than I was what was going on right in front of me. Which was really stupid because I really had to bust my rear end to get into the Marine Corps. So when you hear your leadership say that they spend 90% of their time on 10% of the Marines, I'm pretty certain I fell into that 10% category. Now I had strong leadership that wasn't afraid to snatch me up out of my boots and let me know that when I was screwing it up. I had great mentors, but I still kind of skirted that shitbird fence, if you know what I'm saying. I was that guy when given the choice of going to the birthday ball or standard duty, I'd buy the ball ticket and I'd blow up the ball. I always got busted, but that's what my leadership did for me. I always knew what was best for me and what I was about to get into and what road I was headed on. Then one day the light bulb turned on, and I'd have to say it was while I was on the drill field and after I met my wife Cassie. With her being a Marine, I got to observe that love of Corps that I was missing through her. She showed me the great appreciation for the institution and how to be a professional through her actions. Then all those lessons, my early mentors, those great Marines that I had as my leadership early on, finally hit me. So I come to realize that my story is no different than from a lot of you sitting there. I came from a one-parent home, grew up in a rough town, and ran with a rough crowd. I knew at age 16 I had to do something to get structure in my life, to find great role models, and I was either going to end up in jail or dead. So I chose the Marine Corps for the discipline and structure, both of which I needed. So that's the same story for many of you sitting here this evening. I finally came to realize all that the Marine Corps could do for me. And it took about 5 or 6 years. How many doors that could be open for me, and all I had to do was walk through it. As I figured this out, all these great things started happening. You know, promotions, work, responsibilities. Like I'd walk in one day and say, hey, how about a meritorious promotion? I'd be like, okay. How about an award? Okay. All these great things really just started happening. At that point, I was able to take advantage of all the good things the Marine Corps had to offer. I often hear that the Corps sucks the life out of you and takes advantage of it. I'd agree with that to a certain extent, but once you figure out the Marine Corps, it's a give and take relationship, you realize. If the institution will really let you take advantage of it, you'll be able to achieve any personal and professional goal that you may have for yourself. And all you have to do is have the determination and stubbornness to get after it. Along the way, you'll learn that true love of Corps and that unselfishness and determination to make the Marines and your Marine Corps better and more successful. So every birthday celebration should be a memorable one for you. But you need to have that one that will always be in the front of your mind when reminiscing on these celebrations. Especially once you read this and have nothing but memories. So I'll share one of my most favorite birthdays with you, and it was when I was a Sergeant Major of 3rd Battalion, 6th Marines. So back in, here, Duke 100 back there. So back in 2005, we were deployed to Western Iraq. And we was pretty busy during that deployment, as most units were. But during November, we conducted an operation called Steel Curtain. And this was a pretty big deal because it was a huge footprint with 3-6 and 2-1 fighting through Parabola and Ceiba all the way up to Ubaid. And it got a lot of attention as well because this was the really first large-scale operation that the new Iraqi Army participated in. So the op started, I think it was right around the 6th of November. And the Marine Corps birthday was probably the last thing on our minds. After 4 days, some pretty intense fighting through Parabola, we started to attack and clear Ceiba. And the resistance was pretty minimal that first day to Ceiba. But as we started settling that afternoon, the Colonel and I, we started going from battle position to battle position, talking to the Marines and sailors and wishing them a happy birthday. As we did this, the Colonel was like, you know, it sure would be nice to give these guys a steak dinner tonight. And I'm thinking to myself, great, here we go. One of them big whiz-bang ideas you're going to get. But after thinking it over to myself and thinking of the pros and cons, I was like, yeah, we need to do that. So I bought into it, but never in a million years did I think that the RCT would go for it. But I told the Colonel I'd give it a shot. So I called the RCT Sergeant Major and basically put a rapid request in for like 2,500 steaks, 2,500 baked potatoes, the cake and the near beer, the whole 9 yards. We had a great commander in Colonel Davis in the RCT, and a very patient Sergeant Major. At first they thought we was insane, but after some arm twisting and laying on the guilt by saying how the headquarters would be eating a hot birthday meal that evening, they finally relented and agreed to it. And that evening, we was able to deliver a birthday meal to every Marine and sailor who was laying it all on the line for the mission and for each other. I've never really experienced that esprit de corps and spirit of the Marine Corps as I did that evening. Just seeing those Marines that were going after it nonstop, seeing and doing some very bad things and seeing their buddies get hurt and some killed. Just seeing that love of country and Corps in their eyes, that spirit, and being able to give them 30 minutes of normalcy, I couldn't have asked for a better birthday that night, ever. And that's the birthday that I'll never forget, and the one memory I always share when reflecting on my service. And every birthday since, I reflect on the Marines we lost during that operation. And I keep all of them, their dog tags, pretty close to me at all times. And when I think I've had it hard, well, I think about the sacrifices they made and how grateful I need to be. See, you have to make your own birthday memories and your own Marine Corps memories. Memories that you can reflect on and share. See, when you leave this, no matter if it's 4 years or 30 years, you'll never be around a better bunch of people. Patriots and warriors who you love and sometimes you hate. Who you curse, but who you drop everything for to do something that they were called upon you. To some extent, you'd lay your life down for them. See, I feel it's our responsibility to share our memories with our Marines so that they see that love and spirit of Corps in us, and that they see that the Marine Corps means so much to us. To me, that's what makes this institution so strong. And that's why, in my opinion, there'll be a Marine Corps for as long as there's an America. Some of you may be sitting here saying, oh, hell no. I can't wait to get out, grow that beard, grow my hair, and just be that anonymous civilian like you were when you first came in. The funny thing is, you'll never just be that regular civilian again, ever, no matter how hard you try. You're always going to be a little different than anybody else. You'll always be a Marine first, no matter what. You don't realize it now, but this will always be with you. And this has changed you forever, whether you like it or not. It has. There were folks that I served with just like that. Hell, I think I may even be one of them when I was retiring. I'm going to grow my hair, grow a beard, and I'm just going to forget all about it. Be that nasty, slimy civilian that everybody talks about. I tried growing the hair thing, it didn't work out too well. I hadn't heard that for 2 years. Tried growing the beard, but I had like 3 whiskers pop out, and I started getting annoyed with them, and I had to cut down 3 things of it. So it didn't work out for me, but a lot of my friends that I served with, you would never know that they was a Marine Corps when you first looked at them. These are the folks that I served with just like that, and I run into them from time to time, and they reach out to me, and I look at them, and I'm like, damn. Their vehicle has all the raw stickers on them, all the infidel stickers, USMC here, USMC there. They got the shirt that says USMC, the hats and the tattoos, and their Facebook page, you'd think it was a recruiting website. And you'd swear that they was either a general officer or a master gunnery sergeant or a sergeant major or whatever. But a great deal of them got out as corporal, lance corporals, PFCs, and even privates. But that's what I mean, the light bulb's going to come on. And it came on for them once they got out. And they realized exactly what the Marine Corps means to them. And they found that love of Corps. And to a man or woman, I've never talked to anyone who I've served with, no matter what their circumstances are or were when they got out, that don't say that they wish they could do it all over again. So make your birthday memories. Make your Marine Corps memories. Enjoy your Marine brothers and sisters every chance you get, and for as long as you have them. Never forget that the sky's the limit for you. All doors are open, and it's up to you to go through them. I want to wish you a happy birthday, dear Marines, Semper Fidelis, and have a great evening.
Something else Kathy's going to make you hide in the house someplace. Right. Happy birthday, Lizzie!
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremony. Please enjoy your evening. Happy 241st birthday, Marines.